with the changes of the nodes and as a collective. We've been talking about this a lot in the ISFM in our morning group that we need to make room for what's coming in, because what's coming in is not what we're used to, and we have to be open to that change. And what is it with most people? We resist change, because it's fear. We'd rather stick with what we know, even if it's toxic sometimes, because we know how to navigate that. Toxic is familiar, and as sick as that sounds, we tend to do that a lot of times as people. It's like, because people are like, why do people always go back to their ex, or why do they stay in that bad relationship? Because, again, with these weird word analogies, the devil you know is better than the devil you know.
Do you feel something huge on the horizon?
Oh, absolutely. We're in for very big changes with the changes of the nodes and as a collective. We've been talking about this a lot in the ISFM in our morning group.
Welcome, everybody, to Witchcraft TV Tarot. I'm the Lone Wolf. This is Joanne, and this is our Monday rendition of Mind, Body, and Soul. It's great to be here. Joanne, how are you doing out there in New Hampshire?
I'm a lot better than I was last week. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. We were just talking off camera before we started. Going 0 to 60 real quick. A lot of big changes happening within the Witchcraft TV network, and also personally out here in Washington. And tomorrow going to be headed towards California, and we're going to have a news segment in the middle of the show to kind of talk about that. And we also have some technical issues where Facebook's not letting me share content until Wednesday for whatever reason. I'm not sure. I know
that's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's I do share content. It's being streamed to the Facebook page, but not the Facebook group. So it's one of those algorithm things. But it looks like somebody's out there. David Hollow Bone Wolf, Tensai. Not sure what Tensai means, but merry meet to you. Thanks for showing up to Witchcraft TV Tarot. Lots of stuff's been going on. We haven't consistently been doing the Witchcraft TV Tarot show as originally planned, and these things wax and wane. And a lot of that has to do with the reintegration of Witchcraft TV's content, as we know that our YouTube channel was kind of
compromised. Yeah,
it's a good word for it, compromise. So there's a lot of re-uploading, and sometimes that takes time, and sometimes the reintegration with the content has to be re-uploaded and downloaded with different software, and just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, well, it is an important factor. You have to have the content there, which is funny because I pulled a couple of cards for the collective. Well, actually, 2 cards fell out. And the first one that fell out was "You are brilliant." So know that you have that inner shine and that inner light within you to make things good. You are brilliant. And and everybody out there needs to remember that you are a brilliant being, and that's important. Don't be afraid to strut your stuff. But what also fell out was unraveling, right? And the color is red, and it's funny because Mars just came out of retrograde. So you're going to find a lot of things like this are unraveling and moving forward, and things are going to push forward now at a faster pace. We kind of maybe felt stuck over the last few months with Mars in retrograde, like a lot of energy, but you feel like you're going nowhere. The best way I describe it is like you're a hamster on a wheel, and you're running and running and running, but not getting to that piece of cheese in front of you. Mm-hmm. So it was a good time to reflect and maybe tune things up. But now you're going to find that things are unraveling, and we were just talking about this, how things are unraveling rather quickly, and they'll start to pick up a pace. So to be ready for that in the upcoming days.
Yeah, I appreciate that. They're definitely unraveling quickly, and there's all kinds of different things going on in general pagan community, and I'm just starting to realize, I think, that the overall community is just so vast. The ocean is so vast. Sometimes I feel like am I really in the fold? Are we in the fold? I mean, is our network like with the shakers and movers, or is the ocean so big where we're just not plugged in at all? And and if we did plug, I'm just some of the things that are going through my mind.
Yeah, no, well, it's funny because we talked about that in my morning group with Breege Burke. It's like, because we're more of the academic side of the witches, and we're not, as out there as, say, like Llewellyn authors and things like that, or putting on productions like WitchCon and big events. And do we get lost in the shuffle sometimes? But I have to remember that the reason why I do the work is not for personal recognition as much as it is to help people that need the help. That's why I do it. And I need to remember to stay true to that cause. And by staying true to what I love and what I want to do, the benefits of that will come, and sometimes that's hard when you see everybody else around you and then you feel like, well, why am I not there yet? And I think there's a reason, I just like, there is a vast ocean in doing my podcast. I've learned that there's a whole slew of practitioners out there that are wonderful and talented that nobody, knows about,
Yes, definitely vast. So tell me what's been going on with Inside the Sacred Circle. Tell me what's going on with Joyful and Empowerment. I mean, what's been
Joyful
going on?
Empowerment is on a hiatus because Blog Talk Radio, as you know, went, I guess they went out of business or they went under or something happened. They're no longer a thing. So we were going to do it via Zoom, and then somebody reported Hercules as not being a real person.
Mhm.
So his whole Facebook, because he's got a lot of stuff like you. He's got like the groups and all the things, and got shut down. And he had to reestablish his identity, which he's had to do before because his name really is Hercules Invictus on his birth certificate. And this time when they asked him to prove it, they asked like for some weird things. And he was like, like they wanted side pictures of his face. And he's like, I'm not doing that. So he moved over to Mastodon. So I am in the process of, I'm going to be StreamYarding Joyful Empowerment and then take the recording. And so you'll see it live now as opposed to on the radio, and you'll see us physically. And then you will also be able to go to the, the Mount Olympus website, wherever he puts it, and he'll have it there as well on YouTube.
Great.
Inside the Sacred Circle, we're back this week. Jim had WitchCon and he had a work trip. So we had a little bit of a hiatus there. And we're back on schedule, rolling along, starting every other Thursday, starting this Thursday. Well, actually, this week we're on Wednesday, not Thursday. But because our guest has other obligations on Thursday, so.
Definitely share some of the new innovative Joyful Empowerment on some of the Witchcraft TV platforms. So
Well, that's what I mean. If you want, I can send that content to you as well.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's what
because
we do.
I confirmed with him that, I'm able to do that, because I'm loyal to him. He was the person that gave me my first break in this. And, he's like, no, Joyful Empowerment is completely your domain. You know what I mean? Like because he could have kept it under Mount Olympus, So, I'm more than happy to share it because there's really great messages in that show. It's very empowering.
I did see that your co-host Jim Sayers, he posted in the Witchcraft TV group that Inside Sacred Circle was going to be having a new show coming up soon. I'm not sure who your guest is, or is there any guests that are coming up?
Yes, Sarah Petroselli is this week's guest. She is a brilliant practitioner of high magic. She also works the Goetia. She is a practicing witch and an energy worker, and she is amazing. She's new to, new in the sense that she's, younger, you know what I mean? Like she's not, she's from that outer chasm of practitioners we were just talking about that aren't so well known in our circle, but they're pretty amazing with what they do. So yeah, she's going to be popping in there. We also have Mark Lyons coming up in April. We have Ravi, one of Jim's friends that he's worked with. He works in one of the libraries out of Europe. I believe it's Portugal, maybe where he is. He's going to be coming on our show. We have a lot of like really good people coming up, which is great. I'm working on booking right now, so I think I have booked up until April.
Really cool.
Yeah. And then I have Monday nights, which I'm here with you.
Right. And we're going to keep that. We're going to keep that rolling. I'm going to try to implement some more Witchcraft TV tarots going on. If you are viewing and our outreach is kind of crippled tonight because of whatever algorithm is going on, and I think it has to do something with the North Carolina incident, I think that happened with down there. I think it was in Pickens, like South Carolina, where it was kind of a viral thing where these white Christian nationalists were like cornering people, pagans and witches during their events and kind of pressing their faith upon it. And it kind of just riled up something. And
yeah, that happened at Witches Fest a few times. The protesters, I guess, got really crazy. When I went, it wasn't bad. But I guess the year before, it had really gotten bad. Someone came through with a cross and stuff like that through the middle of the event, and yeah, like all kinds of, and I always go back to the fact that, I don't understand the logic, because if I came to their door knocking, saying, hey, do you want to know a little bit more about Hecate? The throwback I would get from that, why do they feel that they're entitled to do that though? That doesn't, you get what I'm saying? If I knocked on your door and you're a Christian, you'd be mad at me. So why do you have the right to knock on my door and try and cram your stuff down my throat? I don't like hypocrisy on any level. Again, that's why I don't do organized religion.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the best thing that you can do? Like if you're at an event, like, and not necessarily a big event like Witch Fest, but like any event, even like a witches night out at a coffee shop where those are trickled all around the country. I've been to several ones around the country. What's the best thing to do when you have, these extremists, start, cornering, or I guess just pressing their will upon your spirituality? I think what it comes down to. And it reminds me of I think the Witches Council was like in, I want to say 1973, the Witches Council came up with like all these little like statements. And one of the statements was that we have no disagreements with Christianity towards anything to do with Christianity, except that we feel like it's not right for them to say that you're the only way and every other way is wrong.
Yeah.
That's the borderline. That's the borderline. Like, that's the issue I think at hand altogether, because I'm seeing all kinds of Christo pagans. There's witches, because you have witches that are Christian. You can be. I mean, you could be any witches come in all spiritual paths. You can have Buddhist witches. You can have, there's no witchcraft is a craft, and then it's just one of those things. But what do you think is the best way to handle that when people are pressing their belief system on you as a psychologist? Like how, and I want our viewers to know that Joanne is a psychology, has a degree in psychology, a master's, and So, and from a psychological point of view, what's the best way to handle that?
Well, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're safe. You know what I mean? You want to be safe. Are these people violent? Are they, you have to really kind of like observe what's going on and be aware, because they can get, some of them I've heard are very, very violent and aggressive, and borderline dangerous. And my thing is, I don't engage with it. If you don't engage and don't give a response, that's generally what I do, because they want you to engage and get in that battle of wits. And I just look at it as, you can't, when somebody's in that state of a mind, and you also have to take into account the crowd mentality, because that, how many people are with them? Is it two people, shoving a Bible at you, or is it a group of 10 and they're rowdy? So also where you're located in the world, if you're located down south in the Bible Belt,
Right.
So pay attention to your surroundings is the first thing. Number two, don't engage, just, nod your head and just look. And 911, because yes, I get paid to engage with crazy, but I get paid to engage with crazy after it's been settled down. You know what I mean? The police are there to calm the craziness down, and then you can communicate and talk, as a crisis intervention person, we don't tend to go to the door at the domestic violence. The police do calm the situation down, and then we go in and talk the situation through to get people back to level emotions, right? So my personal perspective is don't engage, because the more it's not going to help. It's just going to go back and forth and escalate, and
Right.
Hold the higher ground.
Yeah, because this isn't like a contemporary issue that's just happening in modern times. This is something that's been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah, and your life could definitely be at risk, and and others with you, and you don't want to, like I said, I ignore it. Yeah, whatever, okay. And I'm not, I have a lot of Christian friends on my page. They're not like that. They don't. I don't think anyone has ever insulted any one of you that are watching, that it's on my page, or said anything. And most of the time they are disgusted by the Christians that do that, because they say that is not the true message.
Mm-hmm.
The true message, you would be embracing these people, because that's technically what Jesus did. He loved the what do they call it? The Gentiles and the lowly, the poor in spirit, as he called it. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for they shall inherit the earth, because they're open to learn, even Joyce Myers says it. Jesus didn't come to give you a religion. He came to give you a message on being a good human and what that takes. And, we've all read the Bible, most of us, if you're into studying any kind of spirituality. And the only part of the Bible I find valid is, some parts of Isaiah and Matthew, the book of 21, the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the poor in spirit, blessed are the meek, blessed are the humble. Do unto others, that type of, that's the main message right there. You don't need the rest of the book. There's the message right there for you. Just be a good human.
Mm-hmm. So astrologically, putting a 90-degree turn on the conversation, but astrologically, what's going on astrologically right now in the...
Well, look for these kind of things to amp up, because now, Mars has flipped, and Mars is what? It's energy, it's fire, right? But it's also the planet of war. So people are going to be feisty, right? We're coming into new moon. We have a new moon coming up, I think, on Wednesday or Tuesday. Not exactly sure the time. I do have my witch's date book if anybody really wants me to give them the accurate time on it. So we have that energy coming up. We're in a dark of the moon right now, coming into that. So everybody's and it's also void. We got a long void coming up. So it's kind of a time of like the calm before the storm kind of thing. But those energies are ramping up and things are moving. And that's not just good energy. It's also bad energy, you know? So you're going to see a lot more feistiness going on, I guess would be the word. People are going to be more amped up while this energy is coming out, you know? We also have the planetary alignment on the 28th with the planets lining up. That also intensifies the energy. Yep, they're all going to be in a row or something like that. And I don't know if they're visible in the sky, but that's happening. So they're all lining up. And then you have, you know, and astrologers differ on their opinions. Some say it does matter. Some say it doesn't, you know, have an effect on anything. It's just the way they're lined up. But I think it does because you got all those energies direct in a row, you know, so they all kind of come together. And we're also coming up on eclipse season. So things are going to get more intense astrologically. And we're also we just entered into Pisces season. So everybody's kind of like in that dreamy kind of, you know, state of that is Pisces, which is wonderful. You know, they go with the flow. They're kind of easygoing and, you know, you're kind of, you know, your dreams are going to be more intense right now. Lucid dreaming is going to be a thing. You know, more intense lucid dreaming. And it's kind of a mixed bag. So you got to try and keep balance. You know what I mean? That's going to be key to me this month, is keeping yourself in balance. And what are ways to do that? How are ways to keep your balance?
You pulled a card early on one of the oracles. What was the oracle of the day again?
The oracle of the day that I chose is the Intuitive Whispers.
Okay.
And it is by Maud Hurst. And it is a really great deck. It's very to the point. Let's see. What does Harold need to know? And I also have my regular tarot too.
So
what does Harold need to know for his trip?
Well, we haven't even talked about the trip. But
your body is like a book.
Body is like a book.
Lots of chapters. And let's see. I could take that interpretation several ways. What comes to mind before I even look at the book, because this is a new deck, is you need to know your body. You need to know the chapters of your body, how your body's outlined. When you open a book, right, there's chapters, right? And you got the main chapter, you got, you know, the intro, and then you got all the other little sub chapters underneath, right? Well, to me, the main chapter of our book of our bodies, right, is our brain. So, you know, keep your mind clear. Oh, G's here. Hi, G.
GZ, thanks for showing up, watching Witchcraft TV. Support you. Tarot, Mind, Body, and Soul with Joanne.
Your body is like a book that holds within it every experience you have ever had. In the same way the mind filters your life experiences, your body holds on to every step and every moment. There is deep inner wisdom within your body that needs to be unlocked to unleash your full potential. The story of your body starts to reveal itself through meditation. Become curious as what is held beneath the conscious. Sit with your eyes closed and observe the stillness, the sounds, the feelings, and subtleties of the moment, and deepen your breath until you feel your body relax. Take the awareness down to your feet and ask your body this question: what can my feet reveal to me? Observe what you notice without judgment, perhaps sensations, memories, or just let it be, and scan your body. So yeah, and that's interesting because trauma does store itself somatically in your body. Um, and a lot of people in Western culture, we're taught to deal with the mind, right? And the psyche. So you go to therapy. That's the first. I'm going to go to a psychologist, and that's great. I am one, and I am all for that. But however, mind, body, spirit, trauma also affects your body, and it hides there. It's your brain's way of protecting you from dealing with that thought. So even though you may have acknowledged it and said, okay, this happened to me, you still might be storing the feelings within your body in different places, right? And that results in different ailments. It results in mystery like headaches and all different things that can happen. And I've been studying somatic healing and ways to release it. And some ways to release it would be like stretching. You want to do mindful things. I mean, you can do a workout every day and kickboxing or whatever. But again, as humans, we tend to think, oh, I got to have an exercise routine now. I got to do kickboxing and to get all this energy out, or hike Mount Kilimanjaro. No, all you have to do is do precise things in a mindful way. And that's why I recommend, and they have them on YouTube, Qigong or Tai Chi. They have 10-minute segments you can do for the morning or for the evening, where you just release that pressure in a mindful way. And you're getting just as much, because trust me, try and do a 20-minute standing Tai Chi meditation, standing in that pose. It's like a vertical plank. You think, oh, that's easy. And then after about 10 minutes, you start to feel it through your body and you feel it in your muscles. So you're getting just as much out of that 10 minutes standing as you are, killing yourself on doing 100 jumping jacks really fast, So that's the way my Tai Chi instructor had put it. It's not about doing a lot of things really fast. It's about doing it mindfully and slowly and releasing those pressure points. And what I like about Qigong is it also takes, we all have that Qi energy within us, and Qigong works with that Qi to bring it to center. So it's
in
not
in the chat room, there's commentary going on.
okay.
GZ says, thank you for having me. GZ says, are you doing a reading? I absolutely love meditation. GZ, I'm sure Joanne would love to give you an oracle card reading this evening.
What would you like?
We welcome Rosemary Kinney to, I think you have to know yourself before you can open that book to others. GZ goes on to say, oh, most definitely internalizing is the worst ever. We welcome Dragon from our YouTube. I was just talking about somatic stretching today, how I wanted to start. LOL, vertical plant. GZ, mindful and slowly. I love that. And Amy Lynn Denton, all the way from Reno, Nevada, longtime benefactor. We welcome you to Witchcraft TV Tarot, Mind, Body, and Soul. Darlene, hey, how you doing? Merry meet.
Hey, Darlene.
GZ would like to have you pick an oracle card. And while you get in touch with Spirit, we're going to have a quick halftime feel break. Where we get into a little bit of Witchcraft TV news.
I know, exciting.
So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll be right back here to give a reading for GZ right here on Mind, Body, and Soul with Joanne from Witchcraft TV Tarot.
This is a Witchcraft TV special news update with your host, Harold Sanford Carter III.
Yeah, so exciting journey of transformation, Witchcraft TV. I'm going to be embarking on a California adventure with Phoenix Warriors Rising right here in the state of Washington in a groundbreaking collaboration. We're going to be going down like an expedition to California, accompanied by Michelle Wynn. She's a distinguished priestess of Athena from Phoenix Warriors Rising. And the journey is going to mark a step in the mission to bring the transformative social change to undeserved communities, pagan communities, LGBTQ plus communities, marginalized communities. Witchcraft TV, as you know, is known for captivating, enlightened content, and we're going to be documenting the journey to California. Observing Michelle Wynn in Phoenix Warriors Rising, and also she has a secretary that's going to be accompanying us, and they're going to be meeting with prominent real estate investors to discuss potential projects aimed at providing sanctuary and support to those in need. The trip is going to signify a lot of stuff and address to upload various social changes that are faced by many. There's talks of like an underground railroad for marginalized community that's going to be happening from place to place, stretch up across the country. Phoenix Warriors Rising is an esteemed interfaith church. It's going to be creating positive social change, message centered on, education stuff, community support, spiritual services, housing for people that need it. People that are in abusive relationships within our community will have a place to go. Outreach programs. Their church, the holistic approach, they're going to be, just circles of care and support. And it's just really a privilege that Witchcraft TV is going to be right there, cameras behind, documenting the experience. And these real estate investors are really going to be a pivotal thing, I think, inside of the overall general community, where a lot of people are talking about building the big pagan city or building big communities. And well, here at Phoenix Warriors Rising, there's already established cities, and we're going to be building a city, a pagan city within a city, and just kind of going from the ground up. But part of the trek to California and then documenting all of the interactions they have with, the real estate investors down there is going to be really, really cool. And this just exemplifies the power of unity, shared vision. We're just trying to create a better world for those that need it, through the education, community support, spiritual guidance, anything that can overcome, and achieve what we're really trying to do. So yeah, stay tuned for Witchcraft TV's exclusive coverage of this whole journey, and just stay tuned. We're going to be documenting it. So yeah, without any further ado, that's kind of the news segment. And we are crippled with outreach right now, so we don't have as many viewers, but we do have 8 watchers, so that's really, really cool. In the chat room so far, GZ, can you pick for me? Absolutely. Looks like Joanne's going to be ready for that. Yes, it is super cool, GZ. Thanks for listening to that Witchcraft TV news update. Looks like you have a fan up in the chat room. What's good, Joanne from Katie Pribish, or Prebish, if I pronounced the last name, I apologize. Mary Mead, and thanks for joining the show. And now I'm going to go back to you, Joanne, for the reading for GZ.
Hello, G, and thank you for coming into the show. And I am pulling from I don't know if you were here when I announced it. It's a new deck that I got, and I've just started working with it, and it's called the Intuitive Whispers Oracle. I'm finding it really beautiful. And it is a 44 card deck by Maud Hurst, and the artwork is by Lori Mena. And I love it because when you open it, the first thing it says to you is you are wiser and more brilliant than you know. Be still, take a breath, and listen. Your intuitive whispers are guiding you. And when I shuffled and pulled for you, G, what came up is gratitude for the past. And the first thing that I see here is the owl. And the owl is up high. So to me, that's your higher self, your spiritual self, who you are as a person. And it shows you up high. And there's the maze, or the, what do they call that? A maze or a labyrinth of your life right there. And you're looking down on it from a different perspective. And you're looking at this maze and this labyrinth and everything that you've gone through to get where you are to this point today. And remember, the key here is to remember that our past is what makes us who we are. And we don't have to live in the past, okay? Our past includes not just the good, it includes our mistakes. And if it wasn't for those mistakes, we wouldn't be where we are today. So You may have had some things happen in your past that you're not happy about when you look back on them. But however, try and turn that attitude around if you start to feel that way, you know, because I know sometimes I go down the rabbit hole of, oh my God, I can't believe I did that, you know, back in the day, you know, when I was 20 years old. Why didn't I do this instead? And, you know, we're all good at beating ourselves up, right? But instead, this card asks you to take a different perspective on it, a perspective of gratitude. So when you look back at that event in your life, instead of, you know, yeah, it wasn't great, but be grateful because it brought you to where you are now, right? Because sometimes things happen for a reason, to teach us lessons, right? And, you know, I tell this to my daughter all the time. The consequence you get is based off the choice you make, and we're human. We're going to make not so great choices sometimes, and that's okay. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the labyrinth. And when you look over it, be grateful that these things got you to where you are today, because that's so important.
I want to welcome in Sid Boring. Hey, Jojo, love ya, to the Witchcraft TV Mind, Body, Soul Monday right here on www.witchcrafttv.online. Also, big shout out to Lovola. Hello, Mary Meat to you. Thanks for watching us. And GZ is very attitude of gratitude. She agrees with all of that. And looks like Dragon and on our YouTube, I'd like a reading if possible. Thank you. GZ goes on to saying, oh, thank you for that.
Gotcha,
yeah,
Dragon.
Yeah, Dragon 777. Not too much information on, you know, the question at hand. So I'm thinking just maybe pulling an oracle and spreading good cheer, wisdom, and magic. So that's great. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And our outreach is kind of crippled right now because we're only operating on like 68% capacity right now, and we have quite the chat room going on and quite the outreach, even with the being crippled. So yeah, that's really good news. You draw a crowd, Joanne. You're the real deal, and a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. I give credit to Breege Burke for helping me come out of my shell. And a lot of other good people that support me in this room. Sid, she's a wonderful Cabot witch. Mm-hmm. Lots of great people in my life.
Dragon is asking for a general reading.
Okay. What does Dragon need to focus?
And shout out to Katie Prebish. Thanks for watching Mind, Body, and Soul with Joanne right here on Witchcraft TV. Marry me.
Your soul knows. And I love this card because I'm looking at, I don't know if they're sphinxes. They have wings. They look like kind of angelic creatures. And you got the angel wings here. And basically what this is saying is your higher self knows what you need, you know, what you need to move forward in your life. Trust your intuition. Intuition is very, very powerful for you, and you need to trust that more. And this is a new deck. I haven't pulled this card before, so I'll see what other insight. But just looking at it, I mean, if you're looking, you've got the waterfall, the emotions, you've got the angels, the wings, and I think these are angels on the side from what I'm seeing. I thought they were sphinxes at first, but they might be angels. And they're sitting there and they're opening up, so you're protected, you know, and your soul is your guide. And to me, soul is what connects us with spirit. You know, I don't look at it. And the card number is 33, which is a great number. And it says, listen to the whispers of your soul. Beneath the layers of confusing thoughts and daily patterns of behavior, there is guidance that is helping to navigate your way through life. You might not always be aware or listening, but one way or another, it is guiding you to learn the lessons you are supposed to learn and grow in the ways that you're supposed to evolve. That is not to say that you don't have a huge amount of choice in the way you live your life. You do, but you also have a supportive guiding voice that is within you. And it says how to listen to your soul. The soul works through feeling rather than thinking. It is the sensation you notice when you have a life choice to make, the internal nudge that allows you to know what you truly want. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, how in the Western world, our head tries to run the show. But how does your body feel when you're about to make a choice or you're in a situation? How are you feeling? Is it exciting you? Is it making you nauseous? Is it tensing you up? What's your body feeling as well as your mind? And it's really hard. We think it's simple because it sounds simple, but we really have to train our minds to trust our gut. And that includes, okay, your mind is saying, all right, something's not right with this. How does my body feel? What is my gut telling me? And always, always go with your gut, because that's what this is telling me, to follow your gut and your soul, because your inner self always knows. It's going to be your guiding system.
Dragon says, oh man, I'm terrible at that. Laugh out loud, always second guessing.
See, there you go. Trust in yourself. And that's it. And it is hard to do. I do it all the time. Everybody's like, oh, I'm like, Joanne's always arguing with herself in her head. Trust me. Oh, should I be doing that? Like right now, I'm questioning. I get nervous. I'm like, but my gut knows it's saying, Joanne, you need to be here. You need to be doing this. And that's what I'm going with. So just not throw yourself, but go with your gut feeling. Always be cautious. Yes. But don't let your ego run the show. And what I mean by ego is, our mind. Our mind tries to control everything. Spirit operates from the heart, right? So think about what you're feeling throughout your body, your mind, your spirit, what's going on around me, and go with that. Trust yourself. You're your own best guidance system, Dragon.
Want us to give a big shout out to Rosemary Kennedy Kinney. Thanks for joining us on Mind, Body, and Soul with Joanne. It looks like somebody else in the chat room here wanted a reading. Let's see. Katie would love a reading.
Oh, all right, Katie. You asked for it. Katie is my husband's cousin.
Very cool. Dragon over there on the YouTube platform. Thank you, Joanne. You're such a beautiful soul. Indeed, she is.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
GZ said, I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted with that badass ring you have on, Joanne.
Oh, my eye. Got my eye on you.
So while you're connecting with Spirit, we'll take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back right here on Mind, Body, and Soul on Witchcraft TV.
Merry meet and welcome to Festival Fun on Witchcraft TV, where we talk about paganism, witchcraft, spiritual festivals, conventions, and other gatherings. These events are a wonderful way to learn about magical practices, to participate in rituals, and meet like-minded people. It's a whole lot of fun. With your host, A.C. Fisher and Harold Sanford Carter III. Welcome to Festival Fun.
So in the chat room, Katie had said, who is your co-host? I'm thinking she's referring to me. I'm no one special, just a servant of the goddess, and our platform is Witchcraft TV, fair representation for all pagan, witch, and magic paths. And the lovely Joanne definitely fits that. And I guess I'm going to give her the mic.
Okay, what I got for you, Miss Katie, is vulnerability is power. Okay. And this fits you so well because you always like to portray yourself as like the strong one, the one that's, got to handle the challenges. You've played that role in your family. You've played that role in a lot of your relationships, that you're the strong one. And sometimes, it shows the big cat here with the cub. And sometimes, and I find that fitting because, you're a mom now, and, and I know I can relate to how a mother takes care of her cubs, right? We're very protective of them and we're very strong. But what this card is telling you is it's okay to be vulnerable. And vulnerable, we've been trained to think that that's going to make us, being vulnerable opens us up to being wounded or hurt. It does, but it also opens us up to feeling. And when I say being vulnerable, I don't say open yourself up for people to hurt you, but allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to cry when you need to cry. You don't have to be strong all the time. It's okay to have that moment of, I just need a good cry, whether it be in the shower or whatever, because you want to show that to you want to teach your daughter that it's okay to not close up your emotions. It's how you handle the emotions that matter. It's not about not feeling them, because you're human. You're going to feel angry. You're going to feel sad. You're going to feel scared. But it's how you handle that emotion is what counts, right? So what you want to do is be sure to show your daughter and yourself healthy ways to express that emotion and that vulnerability. And that's what's important. And it's okay to be vulnerable. You don't have to be strong all the time, Katie. You can take the Superwoman cape off. It's okay. And I love you. You're welcome, Katie. So yeah, we all have issues with feeling vulnerable. I do too. We always got to put up that brave front. But sometimes you need to feel, you have to keep in touch with your emotions. You have to feel what you're feeling. And you can't shove it down, because that's when it'll manifest in other ways, whether it's behavior, whether it's an attitude, whether it's a physical ailment in your body, that these things happen. And you really need to be in touch with your emotions. That's what it means to be in touch with your emotions, the good ones and the bad ones, because we're human. You can't be love and light all the time. It's impossible. And the same goes for the reverse. You can't be strong all the time. You can't be the strong one all the time either. Are you frozen, Harold? I think you're on mute.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. Katie says thanks, and she loves you. And we're just about out of time. Do you have any closing words of wisdom, inspiration for us tonight on this lovely night of the moon?
Let me give my dog a treat so she goes away. Yeah. What I want everybody to keep in mind with this week happening and all the planets and the state of the world is to not be afraid to feel your emotions, but it's how you express your emotions. It's okay to be angry, but don't go full on out on a rampage verbally or however to people. Take a step back and sit with your emotions for a minute. Sit back and reflect. Explore that emotion. Why am I feeling angry? Why is this person triggering me? And a lot of times we find out it's more to do with something with us than it is with the person that's triggering you. It's something in you that's making you feel some type of way. You know what I mean? It could be anything. So don't fall prey. The energy is going to start moving. Things are going to get positive. Stay out of the rabbit holes, limit your social media time, stay grounded and centered. Take that 20 seconds of Zen, go sit outside and just breathe the air in. I'd say go put your feet on the ground, but I got 2 feet of snow in my yard, so that's not practical. But, really ground and center yourself. We're starting to get cabin fever now. We've all been locked up in our homes. Try and connect with nature on some level, whether it be a ride to catch a cool view, or go to a park if you happen to live in a spot where you can get out in nature and just appreciate and have gratitude for what we do have around us, because the world is a beautiful place. And no, you don't have to be love and light all the time. It's okay to be cranky. It's okay to whatever. Just remember, it's how you handle that emotion. And the key is to find healthy ways to relieve that emotion or express that emotion, you know, and that's what, and we're all learning here. You know, there's no right or wrong way. You know, we learn as we go.
Thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for watching www.witchcrafttv.online. We are fair representation for all pagan, witch, and magic paths. And I'm going to leave you with a commercial from a really cool witches ball if you're out there in New England, right there in Salem.
Oh.